You are now listening to The Power of Gentle Talk with Ana Palacio, the talk that informs, inspires, and motivates.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ana Palacio, and this is The Power of Gentle Talk. Aired every Saturday between 2 and 3, right here on WBZT, 1230, and iHeartradio. My guest today is Alexander Demetrius Freeman. A lot of you may already know him. You probably have seen a very bright yellow, what kind of car is that at, by the way?
It is a Lincoln Aviator.
Okay, Lincoln Aviator. And he's been campaigning for about 2 years now. Alex Freeman for sheriff. And he is my guest today. His career in law enforcement spans over 20 years, which includes his current position as Major of Police for the Riviera Beach Police Department since 1993. He's passionate about what he does. He loves what he does. So passionate that he was recognized in 2002 as, he was named Officer of the Year in 2002 and granted the award, I guess, for victim services for his dedication to the citizens of West Palm Beach. He's married, has 2 children, and he's with us here today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for accepting this invitation.
Absolutely.
Well, I want you to tell the public a little bit about, the different organizations you belong to so they can get to know you a little bit, and then we'll kind of go into what your campaign's all about and your plans.
Absolutely. Well, currently I'm a member of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. This purple shirt represents our colors. I've been a member of the fraternity for the last 4 years, and what we do in that fraternity is that we provide scholarship for young men and young women to attend colleges once they graduate from high school. We also
a little closer.
We also every Wednesday morning from 9:30 to 10:30 we go to our one of our local elementary schools and we tutor the kids there for 1 hour. And we also provide Thanksgiving meals during the holidays for families, not just here in Palm Beach County, but throughout. This organization is 100,000 strong here in Palm Beach County that I'm a member of. I'm also a member of the Kiwanis Club, which we similarly do the same thing there, provide scholarships, do Christmas toys for tots and so on and so forth, just giving back to the community. That's what we do and that's what we represent.
Wonderful. Okay. And you're also associated with Palm Beach County Association of Chief of Police.
Yes, I'm a former member of the Palm Beach County Chiefs of Police, as well as on the national level, the Chiefs of Police on the national level. I'm a former member, and I say former because I'm a retired police major, so I'm no longer a member of those organizations, but also a member of Nobles, which is a national organization for black elected officials, which is a law enforcement organization as well.
Wonderful. I also would like the audience to get to know a little bit about your background as far as education, because I see that you are a graduate of Barry University.
Yes, I am. I attended Barry in 2003, and I received my BS degree in 2007 in public administration from Barry University. They had an off-site station here in Palm Beach Gardens, so that's the site that I attended, as opposed to traveling back and forth to Miami.
Okay. Yeah. And it was a purpose for me to wanting you to relay that information, of course. I want the audience that's listening to get a full picture of the candidate that's running for the seat. I think You're very qualified. Obviously, you give us your background. As your flyer says, you're very passionate about what you do. To protect and serve is what we see on all police cars. And I know you have a plan to make things better. So standing together to make a change is the slogan I see here. Strengthening relationships between the community. What is your plan? Well, how do you plan on strengthening the community, the relationships?
When we take in consideration what is going on, not just here in Palm Beach County, but abroad, in regards to relationship between law enforcement and law enforcement in the community, it is just not there. The trust is just not there, and it's because of some of the actions and behavior of some of our law enforcement practitioners. So as I campaign and as I look forward to becoming the next sheriff for this county, we are going to implement a Sheriff Night Out, a Sheriff on the Move program. The Sheriff Night Out, Sheriff on the Move program consists of, the county has 15 districts, and each district is manned by a captain. Well, one night a week from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., that captain is going to be required, he or she is going to be required to be at that substation so that those residents that reside in those communities that they are commanding could come in and share whatever concern they may have, whether it's to report a crime or share a concern about our law enforcement service or whatever it is they may be. They can come in and share it with that captain. The sheriff on the move component of that is I am, as well as my undersheriff, we're going to visit one district each week so that we can also participate in those conversations. There is no greater joy than being responsive to the folks that place you in office. And as the next sheriff of this county, I will be accessible to my constituent, which are the voters who are my bosses.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Sounds like you definitely have a plan. You also have developing a partnership with mental health providers to enhance the training that currently is being offered. What are your plans?
Well, we definitely want to do that. Because of some of the recent events over the last year or so, with deputies shooting, unfortunately, folks with mental disorders. What we want to gain out of this partnership and collaboration is we want to have a greater understanding when we engage ourselves with folks that suffer from mental disorders so that it leads to successful outcomes as opposed to our law enforcement practitioners resorting to their firearm to shoot and wound these folks, So we want a greater understanding of the behavior and what to look for so that we'll be able to connect and understand so that we don't be so quick to resort to our firearm or any other equipment that we have on our belts.
Now, I can't, I don't have your background and I don't have the insight as to what's being done now to provide that education for the officers. So you feel that it's not being enough. I'm sure there's something, but it's not enough, and you feel that you're going to spend more time.
Absolutely. I think it's vitally important and it's paramount. Just think in terms of, a parent calls for law enforcement to respond to their home to address a mental disorder, not a criminal disorder, but a mental disorder. And as a result of that, their son or daughter is shot and wounded and perhaps killed. So we want to have a greater understanding so that if we need to retreat and call in someone who has more experience in the mental health areas, then we'll do that as opposed to getting violent or becoming violent.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you also have that you will be implementing a sheriff's advisory committee that will provide input, and that was that the night out that you were talking about, the deputies' night out?
No, that's something different.
Okay.
We're going to implement a sheriff advisory board consisted of citizens throughout Palm Beach County, or the residents throughout Palm Beach County, that are going to provide input and oversight in the operations of the sheriff office. Some may say that, why would you want to do that? We're electing you as the sheriff to make tough decisions and stand by them. Of course, but I truly believe that the taxpayers, the folks that vote, folks in the office should have a say in what goes on. So they're going to assist me and make recommendations on policy matters, on procurement issues, things of that nature, so that they have a stake in what is going on in the sheriff office. I truly believe that the sheriff office is the office of the people and not one man.
Okay. Again, I'm sure that the current organization may differ and may say that they're doing, they're going beyond the call of duty. So you're still saying that your plans are going to be totally different, or they're going to definitely improve what is already in place?
They're going to be total transparency and accountability, and that's the direction we want to go in. If we want the folks to trust and believe in us as law enforcement officers and practitioners, then we should be able to show the same towards them and not have this notion that it's us against them. And I want to change the dynamics of that.
Wonderful. Okay, exploring opportunities that would allow the sheriff's office to streamline its budget. The big one.
Absolutely. When you look at the $550 million budget that the sheriff has, we're going to conduct a forensic examination of the budget, line item by line item, to determine what program serves as a benefit to the residents of this county versus those that don't. Those programs that don't, we're going to eliminate them from the budget to serve as a cost saving to the taxpayers of this county. And in addition to that, once we eliminate those programs, those deputies that was once assigned to certain programs that's eliminated, we're going to use them and create walking beats throughout Palm Beach County, particularly in those areas that we know that are plagued with high crime statistics.
Okay, wow. Okay, researching initiatives that will reduce crime and fear in those areas of the county with high crime statistics. So, what's your plan there?
Yes,
these are really tough issues because, you have gang members in the area, you have the different minorities in the area. So, it's so many cultures and so many ways of thinking and so much dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have a plate is full.
You mentioned gangs, and what I will say is that the current sheriff, he did an outstanding job a few years back when he ran on a platform that he's going to go after the gangs, and he did that, and he incarcerated them, which was good. But there's nothing really sustainable about incarcerating a gang member if there's nothing for he or she to do while they're incarcerated that's going to lead to successful outcomes, because once you incarcerate a gang member, you're only incarcerating them with other gang members. So what we have done, my committee and I, we have already spoken with former gang members that has transformed their lives and are now living as productive citizens, to partner with the sheriff office once I am sheriff to assist us in reducing the number of gang affiliation here in Palm Beach County. What I mean is that they're going to be our face, they're going to be our mouthpiece, where they engage gang members, in an effort to turn their lives around. And we're going to do that. We're going to start that off particularly in the jails, where those gang members who have transformed their lives come into our jails and work with gang members who are currently being incarcerated, in the hopes that once they transition back into the communities, we hope that they will have learned something there and took heed of it and begin to change their lives around.
Now, in your research to implement these programs, let's say for the topic we're discussing now, which is the gang members and reforming them, how much success have other departments tried this? In your research, how much success do you expect or has been maybe documented?
I have not come across any information that has suggested or that any other agency, law enforcement agency, has tried this effort. And it's clearly just thinking out of the box type of stuff that we need to start looking at and focusing on, as opposed to doing things the same way, expecting a different outcome. And if we're really, really serious, there's a lot of discussion around ex-convicts having their rights and stuff restored, and so that they can be able to vote, so on and so forth. If we're really serious about that, then we need to start working with them and making it, providing programs that hopefully leads to their success.
So out of the plan that you have and the topics we've been talking about, discussing, are these all your ideas? This is a combination of research, or you sat back and you said, okay, we really need to now look at this from a totally different point of view? So it's all very innovative.
Well, actually, I hate to say because I do have a team, but a lot of these programs, it was just one night of just critical thinking when I took on this journey to run to be the next sheriff. I knew that I had to think of some strategies that would be out of the box strategies that would resonate and connect with folks. And when you think in terms of the budget, we can make this happen with the budget, but we also have to be aggressive and go after grant funding to bring these programs into fruition, so that it's not much of an impact on the county budget, and the county will be able to use some of those resources so far as funding that they would have been given to the sheriff to use it for other infrastructure needs or programs that they want to implement throughout the county.